If you were to ask me what I am most anticipating, like TV, movie, book-wise, season 2 of Rivals would definitely be in the top 3. And we've been getting some information and some kind of on-set pics and stuff like that. One confirmation that we did get from the on-set pictures was that David Tennant is gonna be returning as Tony. I know there was like a little up in the air about if he would survive or not. I haven't read the books, so I think he survives in the books. I'm sure he survives, because like to kill off a main character is quite dramatic, but I also felt like David Tennant is such a big actor that I could also see him just being like, yeah, I'll commit to this show for like 1 season and then kill off his character, and then he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. But Tony's coming back, so we've got that confirmed. And another thing that we have confirmed that's kind of surprising in my opinion is that there's gonna be a little bit of a cast shakeup. So it was just announced the other day that Hayley Atwell is going to be portraying the role of Rupert's ex-wife, Helen. And the reason this gave me pause is because I saw the articles and no one was mentioning that Helen we've already seen portrayed by another actress. Like, I literally felt like I was like tricking myself, being like, did we see her? But no, we definitely saw her in episode 4. Taggy goes to visit her to try and kind of see if she can persuade Rupert to not do the interview with Declan, and we get kind of a look at obviously the tension in the relationship between Rupert and Helen, as he didn't treat her right and she kind of has no respect, understandably, for him, but is also kind of keeping him from his kids. Again, understandably in a way, because it's like, you know, what has he really shown up for in the past? So I'm sure this is going to be a big part of season 2. But I just want to say, justice for my girl. I don't know if it's Anastasia Griffith, who played Helen. I literally looked up the IMDb episode 4 page because I was like, why is no one meant? Like, normally if like a character gets replaced, and I get it, it happens, right? Like scheduling conflicts, or even sometimes like you get a character that like isn't a huge part of a season, and then when they become a bigger part of the season, you either want like a bigger name, or just the person that you cast doesn't really have the chemistry that you're looking for with the scene partners that they're gonna have, or just kind of the chops that you're looking for. Like, there's multitudes of reasons. I just feel bad that like it seems like this person who I don't really know what she's in is getting replaced with a bigger name. That kind of seems like what it is. I do like Hayley Atwell though. Like, I like she was in Heartstopper recently and that was really fun. So like, I'm excited to see her, and I'm excited that this means we'll get to see more of Helen. I just feel bad that like no one's mentioning we've already seen Helen portrayed by a different actress, and no one's giving her props for the little moments that she had, you know? I am really excited for the addition of Helen in like a bumped up role. It says guest star, not like series regular or anything, but I just think in terms of Rupert, like this is going to be very, very exciting for his character. They also cast Helen's new husband, who is Rupert's ex like coach for show jumping, which that whole dynamic right there is going to be wild, because to me, I'm thinking, oh, if he coached Rupert, then Rupert probably got a lot of his characteristics from him. But I feel like it could be one of those things of like, I'm gonna go for someone like so anti-you, but like also similar to you, because I feel like Rupert, we know, has an ego, so I could see like the better and better he gets at show jumping, the more he's like, I don't need you, and just kind of takes off on the guy. But I could also see it being like the guy is like tough on Rupert, and like, you know, Rupert gets again his tendencies from this guy and then is like, screw you, and like lashes out as like a form of defense, right? But then Helen ends up siding with this guy and ends up marrying him. Like, it's just so messy, and I'm just really, really excited for that dynamic it's gonna bring. And again, of course, what it'll mean for Taggy and Rupert. I don't know with all of it, like we saw Taggy and Helen interact a little bit, so I hope they're not gonna try and like rewrite it completely like we've never seen Helen, you know, because Taggy did go and introduce herself to her. And the interesting thing is, I wonder if this will have more to do with the secret that Declan had found out that he didn't reveal about Rupert, because Rupert has no idea what it is, but we know, well, we know, I say we know, but people who read the books, that's how I found it out, is that he has a secret child that he doesn't even know about. So I'm wondering if that will come into play more, but I also think it is important to have Helen involved more in the show, I think, so Rupert can kind of pay his forgiveness if he is to be in a good, decent, like strong relationship with Taggy, because I think the guilt from how that went and how like this big relationship he had, it was his marriage, you know, how that didn't go well, and a lot of that was on him. I would say a majority of 99%. Again, we haven't seen Helen, so I don't want to like completely absolve her of everything, but I will say, like, from what we know and from what I think he said himself, like, a lot of it was on him. I just think the addition of finding out that her new husband is Rupert's old coach is very interesting, because then it's like, oh, is it two people trauma bonded over like how Rupert just was so like callous and rude and saw like this like, you know, ego and arrogant side of Rupert? Or is it two people that kind of not screwed Rupert over in a way, because again, he was terrible to Helen, but it's like if he doesn't get along with his coach, then to be like, okay, my ex-wife is now with like a coach that I can't stand, and like my kids are calling him stepdad, and like he's around in their life more than I, the actual dad, am, and all that. Like, I think it just adds some really interesting dynamics, and I'm really, really excited. It gets me more excited for this season now, and I'm really, really hoping we get to see it soon. I hope we don't have to wait like another year. I think they're still filming it from what I've seen, but I really hope that like maybe like April, you know, like kind of maybe like 6 or 8 months from now we can see it, instead of having to wait a whole year, because I just think there's so much like tension with everything. And again, this could lead to like Rupert finding out about the secret kid. Hopefully they realize how much people love tagging Rupert. Like, that's what got me into the show, and I think that's what got a lot of people into the show. So I'm hoping that this is again Rupert kind of trying to be like, you know, like, I wasn't a good husband to you, and that's on me, but like I need to be able to not make peace with it in a way, but just kind of like be like, that's what happened, and I can't hold my feet to the fire over and over again and not let myself move forward with Taggy. I'm sure, because I've read it in fan fiction, so I'm sure Helen is not going to be impressed with him being interested in Taggy, so that'll also be a fun dynamic to see. I hope she's nice to Taggy, you know? I think she'll be kind of like, do you know what you're in for, and kind of trying to warn her, but I hope she's not rude to Taggy. And I also think Taggy, like, I like in fan fictions when we see her interact with the kids, and I hope maybe Helen getting to see that, and Helen getting to see how she's kind of helping Rupert to change for the better and make him want to be a better version of himself, is just like a great thing in general for everyone. So I just think this is going to add the drama, and I am really, really excited for the dynamics we're about to see with this. So yeah, if you have seen the casting and have any thoughts about it, let me know what you think down below in the comments, and what you would like to see more of in season 2 of Rivals, aside from Tony definitely being back. Hopefully more Rupert and Taggy, and then this whole Helen, Coach, Rupert love triangle-ish thing going on. I don't even know if you can call it love triangle, because like they don't love each other anymore, but you know, it's like, it's weird. It's weird if like your ex-wife, who you didn't treat good, is now with like your ex-coach from like your Olympic days. Like, that's just, it's a little The Summer I Turned Pretty, right? Where it's like, let's date outside our friend group, you know what I mean? So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!